Problem 11. Which sequence follows the rule n over 2 in which n represents the position of a term in the sequence? So again, we need to know that the first term in our sequence corresponds to n equals 1. The second term corresponds to n equals 2. So our values of n are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's make a table. N, and our rule is n over 2. And we'll try different values of n. N equals 1. All we do is rewrite the rule. Instead of writing n, we write 1. N is 1. So instead of n over 2, we have 1 over 2. That's just a half. And all four sequences you see start with 1/2, so that doesn't help yet. If n equals 2, we put 2 where we see n. 2 over 2. 2 over 2 is the same as 2 divided by 2. That equals 1 whole. So looks like we're done, because the only sequence that has 1/2 and then 1 whole is C. Let's try 3 just to make sure. N equals 3. 3 over 2. 3 divided by 2. 1 and 1/2 is a mixed number. And that does match the third term in sequence C. Where people get into trouble with a rule like this is if they try to solve it without writing it down. I mean, don't try to do 2 steps in your head, even if you think you can. Just substitute in the n number like we did here, 2 over 2, then think about what that equals. Look at it on the paper and then figure out what it equals. Don't try to do everything in your head. Right, number 12. Pumpkins are on sale for $2.25 per pound. Riley bought 6.2 pounds of pumpkin. About how much did he pay? If pumpkins are $2.25 per pound and he bought 1 pound, he would pay $2.25. If he bought 2 pounds, he would pay $2.25 times 2. If he bought 3 pounds, he would pay $2.25 times 3. We have to multiply $2.25 times the number of pounds he bought. In this case, times 6.2. Then you just need to remember the trick for multiplying decimals. It's an easy trick if you remember it. All we do is ignore the decimal. So pretend the decimal isn't there. It's as if we were multiplying 225 times 62. You ignore the decimal to set up the problem, and you ignore the decimal when you're doing the multiplication. But we're going to put it back in there because we need it at the end. We need to count up our decimal places. So right now I'm multiplying by 2. That's the ones place because I'm ignoring that decimal. So 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 2 times 2 is 4. Now when I'm multiplying by 6, I'm multiplying by the tens place. So I need to start with that placeholder 0. Don't forget that 0. A lot of people did that on the test. 5 times 6 is 30. Carry the 3. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13. When we add those, we get 13,950. Then we need to consider our decimals at this point. How many decimal places in this factor? There are 2 digits after the decimal, so 2 decimal places. How many decimal places in this factor? There's only 1 digit after the decimal in this factor. So there should be 2 plus 1 or 3 decimal places in our product, which means we need to place our decimal right there. And if we think of it in terms of money, that would just be $13.95, which would make answer choice B the correct answer. Now, if you put your decimal in the wrong place, let's say we had 13,950, and we put our decimal here. Just think about whether that seems reasonable. $139.50. You're paying about $2 a pound for 6 pounds. You know it's going to be around $12, a little more than $12. Same if you put the decimal here, 1.395, and you said, okay, rounding up is $1.40, $1.40. If it's $2.25 a pound, and you're buying more than 1 pound, how could it possibly be less than $2.25? Just think about whether your number is reasonable, and you'll know whether you place a decimal place in the right place. Okay, we'll pick up the review with 13 on the next video.